Hi Los Altos, my name is Alisha Mirapuri and I'm running for ASB Treasurer. The role of being Treasurer includes preparing the annual budget and allocating school funds. With my qualifications, skills, and experiences, I know I'm ready to carry out this position. I believe that our school finances are an important aspect in improving our potential, and that school funds can be put to even better use for all students. I am very qualified for this position for several reasons. The first of them being my involvement in ASB this year on the Outreach Committee. I have experience with organizing events such as transfer lunches, parent nights, and the Diversity Assembly. ASB has also allowed me to connect with many different types of people on campus, ranging from clubs to individual students to school administrators, so I know how to communicate with different types of people as treasurer. Currently, I'm the sophomore vice president, so I lead and organize many class council meetings. I track class finances through collaborating with the finance office and class council members, so I know exactly how the financial process works. I've been a leader in organizing events like homecoming float building, class fundraisers, fairs, the spring dance, and Valentine's grams, so I can apply those leadership skills to this position. You can count on me for school spirit too. I'm a member of the school's dance team, so I perform and cheer at multiple games and rallies. You also probably saw me hit the con in the lip sync. While our school's current financial process works well, I do have many improvements I would hope to implement if I were elected. One goal I have has to do with using money to benefit the student body. Especially over the past few months, we've taken surveys on stress and the school environment, which has helped us better understand how all of you feel and which activities you enjoy the most. For example, those relaxation days we've had at lunch a couple times in the past with food trucks and bouncy houses were very popular, and I plan to use our school funds towards more events like those. We could also fund an extra wellness week, which means more puppies in the quad, or gifts of gratitude during other parts of the school year. I'm super spirited and passionate about making next year's ASB class and our school as organized as can be, and will use our finances to ensure a successful year for all of us. I'm committed and prepared to serve as your treasurer, so remember to vote Alisha Mirapuri so we can all have the most amazing year together. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tsunoda, and I'd like to be your next ASB treasurer. But before I get into the details of what I would do for you as treasurer, let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard of the saying, money can't buy you happiness? I bet most of you have. Well, guess what, Los Altos? I'm about to prove you wrong. One thing that I strongly believe in is that ASB has the responsibility to make sure all our students are happy. We do this by putting on exciting events and activities that involves everybody, like homecoming and rallies. And for this, we need money, and that's where I can step in. Since I have 1 year of ASB experience as the activities associate, not only do I know how much money we need for different activities, but I can also guarantee to distribute the right amount of money for sports tournaments and league fees, clubs, and class accounts. Speaking of sports, I have been on the varsity cheerleading team since freshman year, and that takes up a lot of my time. But I'm very committed to the school and very organized, since my schedule is pretty much always packed with events. I can use my organization skills to keep track of where our money goes. For example, our student stores that carries those popular Los Altos High School sweatshirts. After all, managing all the ASB money calls for a person like me who can figure out all the nitpicky detail that most of you wouldn't want to do. Now, circling back to my commitment, I am also an active member of the 2018 Class Council. When these meetings take place during lunch every Tuesday, I spend a majority of my time on very important discussions about school events like dances, and I'm not afraid to put my ideas on the table. Through my communication skills, you would have a committed treasurer who would always be willing to voice your opinion as well. And if you haven't figured it out already, I'm also responsible. Since the treasurer is trusted with your money, I can ensure you that it'll go to the right place and not into the pocket of my jeans. So, Los Altos, sometimes money can buy you happiness, especially if I become your treasurer. So don't forget, count on Charlie to count for you.
Hey Los Altos, my name is Rosie Burdick and I'm running to be your next ASB Activities Commissioner. Being the Activities Commissioner consists of planning and executing the brunch time activities every Friday. I believe that the Activities Commissioner should be excited and committed to providing the school with the most engaged and interesting activities every week. I believe that I'm qualified for this position because not only have I been ASB for 1 year, but this year I was a music commissioner, whose main job is to play music at the weekly brunch activities. Overseeing every brunch activity has given me experience and insight into how the activities are run. I'm excited and ready to plan new activities that will increase participation. I'm very passionate about creating fun and well-planned activities because I believe they're a good way for students to de-stress during the day as well as increase our school spirit. If I'm elected, I'll make it a priority to communicate with the student body so your ideas can be implemented into the weekly activities. If I'm elected, I'll make it a priority to communicate with the students in person and through social media so I can get a better feel of what the students would like. If I'm dedicated and motivated to running an activity every Friday along with prizes and being prepared with the required equipment. I love this school and I'm passionate about raising our school spirit and making everyone feel included through the weekly activities. I'm committed to communicating with you so that your ideas can be brought to action. And remember, vote Rosie Burdick to be your next ASB Activities Commissioner.
What's up, Los Altos? My name is Zachary Murphy, and I'm running to be your Activities Commissioner for next term. Currently, in my first year in ASB, I have already demonstrated an ability for leadership and accountability as the Outreach Commissioner. In addition to this, I am a dual sport athlete, avid member in clubs, and the self-proclaimed hype man at our rallies and sports games. I hope to bring the same dedication and what I already do at Los Altos into this position. Since my freshman year, I've seen how memorable activities can be, and they became something I look forward to every Friday at brunch. As your new Activities Commissioner, I would aim to build off and improve off this year's group. Activities, especially the ones where high participation among various student groups is achieved, are often the most memorable and fun to watch. To achieve this high level of participation, I plan to redesign activities to be held on a larger spectacle, whether that means a game with more participants or a grudge match style head-to-head competition that the crowd can usually cheer for. This leads to increased energy in the game and general spirit in the crowd, resulting in a more enjoyable show. I would advertise each event through various media platforms so the general public is made aware of these activities. My proposed openness with the student population encourages communication between ASB and students, so people can even give me feedback or contact me with ideas for future activities. Many reforms throughout the year and increased planning for a true variety of activities is what I will bring to the table. So just remember, Los Altos, if we want real change, make sure to vote Z for activities.
Hey guys, my name is Aevia Trainor, and I want to be your next ASB Secretary. This year, I was given the opportunity to be a part of ASB, and it really has been such a fun and rewarding experience that has really allowed me to develop my leadership skills. Now, a big part of being a successful secretary is passion. In class, when I'm assigned different jobs or asked to help or do more work, I really don't see it as a chore. It's something that I really want to dedicate my time to doing. I've seen how members of ASB and the staff really commit themselves to the school and students, and that is one of the things that has inspired me to take on a bigger role in ASB. I want to do my best to make sure that everyone's experience at school is as positive and as fun as possible, and through doing that, I feel like in a way I would be giving back to my teachers and peers. Being organized is a crucial part of the job for secretary, and it takes a lot of personal experience and motivation to keep that organization at a high and consistent level. Personally, I know that I have a lot of incentive. Just last week, when I tried out the position of secretary, I felt really comfortable, and I could definitely see myself filling that position in the future, which is very important when people rely and put their trust into you carrying out your job. Overall, I feel like I would be the best fit for the position of secretary, and I hope that you vote for me, Aevia, as your next ASB secretary.
Hey Los Altos, my name is Jonathan Yezalaleul, and I am running to be your next ASB secretary. When people ask me why I want to be secretary, the answer is simple. It's because I have the skills necessary to complete the main tasks of secretary. I believe I best fit the qualifications for secretary because of my experience, skill set, and willingness to try new ideas. As inventory associate in ASB this year, I helped account for and reorganize the school apparel. This experience has led me to have better organizing and documenting skills, which are essential for the secretary position. I stepped in for the current secretary 2 weeks ago and recorded the POs for that day, and it was easy to manage along with my other tasks as inventory associate, which shows my ability to multitask efficiently. I go above and beyond every task I am assigned and always add my creative flair, which you can tell by the new 3/4 sleeve baseball tee in the student store. The key to being a great secretary is perseverance, and I know that I will never give up on any issues that come my way, regardless of how complicated they are. I have near perfect attendance this year, so I'll always be there when a task needs to be completed. As I mentioned before, I will put my own creative spin on the secretary position, based on my knowledge required from inventory, to make the system more efficient. I hope for these reasons, you vote me for your next secretary. Thank you.
Hey guys, my name is Yesenia Gutierrez and I am running to be your next ASB Vice President. I know that many of you already have in mind of who you will vote for, but please hear me out and understand why I am a good candidate for Vice President. Being Vice President is an important job because this position works closely with the President and has to be ready to sub in for the President when needed. Not only that, but the Vice President also helps coordinate the Food Drive and Wellness Week, so it is important that the Vice President is responsible and has experience handling jobs similar to these. Now, you may be asking yourself, why should I vote for Yesenia? Before the school year even started, I was already handling big jobs that required me to take initiative in order for events to be successful. This year, I was appointed Matriculation Associate, and through this ASB role, I used my communication and organization skills to help coordinate with middle school principals and ASB members to give presentations to incoming freshmen. Not only am I a good candidate because of my ASB experience, but I am also the Vice President of LSU, so I understand what makes an effective Vice President and especially how important close communication with the President is. This year, LSC hosted its first annual Dia de los Muertos, and that meant that I had to be on top of things such as brainstorming and planning activities for parents, children, and students, as well as getting student acts, securing the DJ, and emceeing the event. I am also an active member at Class Council, and I'm always trying my hardest to encourage other students to come to the meetings, and I've been successful in bringing in new students. In addition to my experience, my goals are another reason to vote for me. I plan to include more activities during Wellness Week to help students alleviate stress, include more activities during our annual food drive, as well as our ASB student activities. Finally, no, I am determined to give my 110% to this position and go above and beyond to meet these goals and contribute as much as I can to our school. Thank you for listening to my speech, and remember that I am an organized, responsible, and outgoing person, which makes me qualified for this job. So vote Yesenia for ASB Vice President.
Hello, Los Altos. So, instead of starting off my speech with my name and what I'm running for, at which point you'll probably tune me out and start looking at your phone, I'm going to tell you how much this school means to me. From my first day at Los Altos, I knew that I wanted to work hard to make this school a place where students really want to be, whether it be by dressing up as a piece of corn all week for a food drive or giving up my school nights to get decked out in blue and cheer on our sports teams. I've been involved in water polo and class council all 3 years at Los Altos, and I'm currently working as the Public Relations Officer for the class of 2017. Having also been in ASB for 2 years now, taking the leadership roles of Board Associate and Matriculation Commissioner, I have and will continue to dedicate countless hours working hard to refine both my leadership skills and the overall atmosphere at Los Altos. These are just a few examples to show how much I enjoy devoting my time to this school. And all of these experiences have led me to be sitting in front of you today, telling you that my name is Emmy Tiffin, and I am running to be your next ASB Vice President. If elected, I'm willing to put forth all I have to offer to make my last year at this school the best one yet. I will stand beside your president, ready to help in any way possible, and be there to step in if they are unavailable, doing so happily. I will sit on the ASB Council and make sure that your opinions as a student body are heard, and be there to help you when you fall. I will give all I have to bring to this school. For example, a well-executed food drive, winter ball, and much more. With ideas like these, I will work my hardest to make school much more enjoyable, and make sure to get everyone involved to maximize our school's spirit. I want to be able to get a chance to show my passion for helping both our school and our community become a better place, and use this time in ASB to incite this change. Now, I'm asking you to vote for me as Vice President of ASB. Los Altos has given me a home, and I hope that you will all give me a chance to give back. So, thank you for not falling asleep, and remember to vote ET for VP.
Hey Los Altos. Some of you may have absolutely no idea who I am. Some of you may know me as DTP, or the girl who fell in the middle of the quad last year in front of everyone. But none of that matters right now because I want you to remember this. I'm Devon Tompane, and I want to be your next ASB Vice President. Look, I can give you a long speech about why I should be ASB Vice President, but the answer is so simple. I love this school. I love being a part of making your high school experience the best it can be. I want everyone to really enjoy this high school, staff and students. I want everyone to have their own cheesy High School Musical moments, maybe without all the complicated choreography though. All students in ASB work every day towards this goal. I want to be a part of making that happen. We work towards making your high school experience the best it can be. I want to assist the ASB president in making this goal possible, while still taking on my own personal goals to better the future of our school. One of the main responsibilities of the vice president is our food drive. I would be so excited to take on this job because I wouldn't just be helping our school, I would be helping our whole community. Last year, I was lucky enough to get selected as freshman class president. Being class president brought me into the ASB community and allowed me to take on a big leadership role right from the beginning of high school. Although I was truly disappointed that I lost the election for sophomore class president, it opened up a new door for me in ASB, which in retrospect, I'm so grateful for. This year, I was your ASB Rallies Commissioner. I loved my job because it allowed me to provoke both school and class pride throughout our student body during our rallies. I've been a part of student government for 7 years now. I'm totally ready for this role. I know I'm just a sophomore right now, but I've already had 2 years of experience of ASB at Los Altos, which allowed me to learn and master how the class works. I can tell you all without a fraction of doubt, if you vote for me as your next ASB Vice President, you won't be sorry. DTP for VP!
Yeah, I'm pretty sorry, Mr. Trump. Thing is, my riot's a little different than yours, kind of going for the whole acronym wordplay thing. Yeah, anyway, I have to go right now and work on my own campaign. Alright, thank you. Talk to you later. Hey there, Los Altos. I'm Douglas Curtis, and I'm running to be your next ASB president. It is my firm belief that ASB is meant to make every single student's high school experience a great one, and to make you a part of the blue. Now, in order to make this daunting task happen, we need someone who's not only well qualified, but make sure that in their past years of high school have made a huge difference in our community. Over the past 3 years, I have been freshman class vice president, sophomore class president, and this year's ASB treasurer. And just this month, I was voted by my peers to be the student of the month. This means I've made a huge difference in our diverse community. And the best way I think that we can take this change into next year is by making a riot. I'm not talking about anything violent. I'm talking about reform, inclusion, organization, and transparency. Now, for reform, I believe that we need to make tutorial a sacred time which we are guaranteed work time. So, if we need a fire drill or code red drill, a separate day with a special schedule will be used. That way you can all get to Then, we can make inclusion a huge part of our job here at Los Altos. So what do you think about having games, lounge seating, photo booths, movies, all at our dances? Well, we can. That way, even if your moves quite aren't as fly as you'd like them to be, that's okay. You have plenty of things to do. We also need to revamp our wellness week. That means having things like yoga and Zumba in the quad. That way you can dance all the stress away and burn a few extra calories along the way. Now, that means we need some serious organization if we want to get all of this done. We can accomplish this through a published calendar at the beginning of the year with all our major events like dances and tournaments such as dodgeball and powder puff. That way you can plan accordingly and get pumped for these events. Now, we also need to be transparent, especially as ASB. I plan to have regular ASB updates so that you know what is going on and you can give us the feedback that you want so we can make our events even better. So what do you say, Los Altos? Want to make Los Altos an even better high school and make a riot out of next year? Well, we can do this through reform, inclusion, organization, and transparency. A vote for Douglas Curtis as your next ASB president will ensure this will all happen.
Good afternoon, Los Altos. My name is Adam Rosenbaum, and as your president next year, I will not only plan and oversee existing ASB events, but also innovate. I would like to implement more spirit and wellness weeks that promote school unity as well as student well-being. For example, I plan on changing homecoming by focusing the week more around class competitions and less on the court. As president, I will shift ASB to putting on easier to attend events both during and after school to make sure that no matter what homework you may be doing today, there will always be something to look forward to tomorrow. As a junior, I am captain of both the basketball and tennis teams at Los Altos. As a result, I have been working with Blue Crew for the past year and look to continue to do so next year. I will make sure that ASB's advertising power and the hype and enthusiasm that Blue Crew brings come together to help create a stronger school identity through our sports teams. As president, I will listen and be more active to gaining the student body's perspective in order to tailor my actions to all of you. After all, I am of the firm belief that ASB exists to make our high school experience more enjoyable. I am qualified to be your president next year. I have clear ideas on how to make your high school experiences more enjoyable and the experience to execute those events. Next year, I hope to work with the student community to create a community at Los Altos that we are all proud to be a part of and contribute to. And remember, Vote for Adam, because he is the bomb.
Hello, Los Altos. My name is Thara Salim, and I am running to be your next ASB president. I know. You keep hearing phrases like that over and over again, but bear with me, I'll change it up. Most of you have experienced Election Tuesday at least once before. Welcome, freshmen. And I'm sure you're aware that you hear lots of speeches, so many that they begin to blur together and your fingers itch for the phone in your pocket to cure your boredom. But the truth of the matter is that every single one of the candidates this year are overqualified for the positions that they are running for. So I feel like you don't need to hear my qualifications. Instead, I'm going to tell you a story. Recently, I went to Crittenden and a student there asked me about a futsal tournament that he heard was held at our school. I sat there thinking, well, that's a good idea. Why didn't we think of that? I continued wondering for a while and then came to the, might I say, obvious conclusion that the 37 minds of ASB cannot come up with all the ideas of the world. But that's where you come into the story. I think that our 2,000 collective minds have a much larger opportunity to think of things like this futsal tournament. And together we can have dances, tournaments, and activities that all of you want. The possibilities are endless. ASB shouldn't be a group of kids sitting in a room speculating about what you want to see. You should be able to tell us what you want so that ASB can make it happen. That is my goal. Because if you don't enjoy the events held at this school, then what is the point of the event? Let's make the possibilities endless, Los Altos, and let's have fun. You have a voice, so make it matter. Vote Thara for your next ASB president.